Good morning and welcome to Pistols Progress episode number 28. I'm Heather Smith. I'm the creator of barrelracingtips.com and I am here with my best barrel horse pistol. I'm taking you along for a ride behind the scenes as I get him in shape for competition. So we just finished our ride this morning and I'm actually bringing you right along in the saddle with me as I cool him down. So I'll tell you a little bit about why I'm running a little behind schedule this morning. And I also wanted to give you some tips for your approach to the barrels as well. So first though, I would love for you to say hello in the comments and tell me what your goals and your intentions are for your horses for the weekend. And then it would be great for you to check in with me on Monday and let me know how it went. So today's ride went well. I upped the challenge as far as the barrel size circles. We've been gradually working our way down from the less challenging larger circles to the smaller ones. And even though, you know, you can consider him a finished horse, like in my mind, our horses are never really finished. I mean, like there's always, you know, for them to be finished is to really put like a limit on them. And, you know, there's no end to how much we can continue learning, and so if there's no end for us in our development, there's surely they can continue too. So I am always working on taking, you know, what's great and making it even better. And so essentially he had a big comeback to running barrels after being sidelined for a while last year, and that was really exciting, and he was really more competitive and clocking better than he had where we had left off quite a while back. But I knew that from studying those runs, I knew that we could take it to even another level. So essentially, I'm really working on changing his habits and his biomechanics in a circle and in a turn. And so I'm really conscious of not just how he works around a barrel, but every single step he takes, and especially in a circle. So we've been working on that, and of course we've been taking it like really kind of slow and gradual, because I don't want to allow him to just default back to his old style of using himself that, you know, was already established. So anyway, we upped the challenge today, and of course, like, it was a little bit harder for him. You know, he's still getting fit. It's extremely hot out, if you haven't noticed. It's not the most becoming angle today, and it is like there's no breeze, which is great for doing the video, but it is like extremely warm already this morning. So I did take a little bit of video footage. The little bit of the remote that I had, it seemed like when I was clicking it on, it was turning off, and when I was turning it off, it was turning on. So we'll have to see what kind of quality footage I got. But anyway, I wanted to share with you, like I said, what our routine consisted of before I got in the saddle, and then some things I think would be valuable about your approach to the first barrel. So this morning, you know, like, I'm a licensed veterinary technician. I had that science sort of veterinary background where, you know, we want to diagnose everything and label everything and get to the bottom of issues and so forth. And but at the same time, I think we have to sort of also just trust our intuition and let that guide us, and like really listen to our horse. Like, our horse can tell us a lot more about what they need than a vet can, to be honest, if we learn to listen to them. Not that, of course, working with vets isn't valuable, because it certainly is, but we can't overlook that aspect of things, or overlook the aspect of like going with our gut feeling as far as what our horse needs. And I thought about the fact that, you know, I recommend that we're always feeling our horse's joints, palpating their back, lunging them to see how they're moving. And, you know, like, in the process, it seems like we fall into this rut of like we're always looking for something wrong, you know? And the thing that we have to realize and balance that out with is the fact that there can be sometimes things that like aren't necessarily perfect, but it doesn't necessarily mean that our horse can't be extremely healthy and high functioning at the same time. And we have to like invest ourselves and believe in a power that's basically beyond the healing capability of medical professionals, right? And like trust that if we provide our horses with all the right tools and really be open to that kind of guidance. And when I say tools, I mean like the care, the hoof care, the diet, the builders that they need to have a healthy structure and body and system. Good morning, Sharon. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Melody. So this morning I kind of mixed it up a little bit. I didn't do like a super in-depth analysis of his whole body. I just kind of followed my gut and decided that I would give him like a really intense massage while he was vibing. And there's this book. I think the author is John Sarno, and he writes about healing back pain in people. And he talks about how people tend to latch on to the fact that like there was an old injury and that that's what their pain comes from, and that they'll just never be the same, and that's the limitation. But from what he's studied, it has shown that it's just really interesting, and just kind of take it with a grain of salt with everything else that you consume, and just put it in your little toolbox. But he talks about the fact that all these like healing therapies that we do are most valuable, not necessarily for the healing for some of these like older injuries, because the thing of it is, after so much time, like the body has healed it. And what those therapies continue to do though after the fact is that the value in them is for like soothing and relaxation, and that is really, really valuable for our health. And I like to think of that as being really valuable for our horses too. That's why like light touch therapies can be so powerful, especially for barrel horses who, endure so much of that high speed and that high intensity of their work. To take the time and to really slow things down and be in the moment with them and help them to like relax at such a deep level is so therapeutic for their mind and their bodies, and can do like just or be a huge part of what they need to really recover from that stress. And so I thought to myself, this morning I'm going to just read Pistol and kind of just be guided as far as like what his body needs to just feel good. And so I did some really intense massage just with my hands, which is so powerful. We never want to rule out, with all the tools and gadgets that are available and that I even use, we don't want to rule out, overlook the power of actually putting our hands on our horses. And so what was amazing is that I gave him a really big massage, and there's all this dead hair that kind of came off of him, which you wouldn't even imagine because, it's summer, he's slick. But there's just like hair everywhere. And then I thought, I'm going to take him out into the arena and let him roll, which I don't usually do before I ride. So we did that, and then I'm like, I'm going to do our pre-ride stretches out here in the arena. And then I looked at his back, and I happened to notice these big like sweat patches that had come up. And there's this body worker I follow on social media, and she has talked about and shown a picture of our hands being the poultice, and that we can actually use our hands to help our horses' muscles release and relax, and we can stir up circulation and draw out inflammation. And I was like, I took pictures. I didn't have my camera on me in that moment, but the patches were still sweaty after the fact, so I'll post them later. But it was just amazing to me, and I like to think that like those areas that I just really worked, like I really worked like every muscle in his body, but there were these certain areas where this sweat had come up. And it wasn't really hot yet, and he hadn't had a saddle on or anything, or like there was nothing that had been on his body in those specific spots, in those arrangements that would have caused the sweat to come up like it did. Other than the fact, and like I said, I massaged like his whole body. And so I like to think that those sweaty spots were just tight areas that that the massaging kind of like triggered, you know, like the circulation, and actually did some good. Like that was like his body showing me where, how it had responded to what I had been doing. And so that was like fascinating, and I was like, wow, it really is true. Our hands are like poultice. So don't overlook when you want to like smear and it's not that it's bad to smear our horse with actual poultice or use all the gadgets and tools, but don't underestimate the power of just reading your horse, being really present, and taking extra time and just listening to their body, and then like trusting that you have, between you and your horse, that you have what it takes for them to be at their best. And sometimes that means does mean taking specific actions and using specific tools and so forth, or specific professionals, you know, if that's what you feel guided to do. But man, it's just like, take that time to make sure that you have that one-on-one time, and that you're just like open to what you feel like your horse needs the most. Like, just get present and touch base with them on sort of a deep unspoken level about what they need to perform their best. Like, you will know if you are open to receiving that information. So as far as approach to the barrel, one thing I wanted to mention that I think is really common across the board is that folks tend to like cut in or cut their approach off to the barrel. And I even catch myself sometimes too, where if I allow him like a really great approach to every barrel that we're coming to as we're working. See, I still have the 3 barrels set up in a row. And if I was, maybe I wonder if I can turn the camera around here. Okay, so if I was going to approach this barrel and go around it, and if I was to kind of, now it's so sunny that I can't really see what you're seeing, but if I was to, do you see how I kind of cut in there? I think that our best bet, now he assumed we were going to go around that again. I wasn't very good about communicating. I was looking at the camera. So my tendency is to want to kind of fall in here a little bit, right? Because we sort of anticipate our focus is on the barrel. But if I was to backtrack a little bit, my advice for you is to make sure that you're keeping your horse's shoulders and ribs elevated, and that you're going about a step beyond where it's probably your tendency to want to turn. And so keep your shoulders up and square, keep your eyes up and looking forward, and remind your horse if you need to stay in good position, like one extra step. And really keep your focus, instead of ducking your eyes to the inside, keep your focus up here. And really keep your horse elevated and round, instead of getting a little bit premature about the turn. I know that's really helpful for us, and I still have to catch myself and remind both of us to do that. So I hope that's helpful. I've got some crazy hair, crazy forehead this morning, but yeah, I'm just catching up with comments here. Hi Katie, hi Karen, awesome, love seeing my buddies from Australia. So Cindy, I don't remember which page I talked about that you asked about, if you're still with us. So Melody said, I bought a new horse for a barrel prospect. 2 weeks of trial, I found out he was short, turning to the right, but found a cyst. I'm back to square one, trying horses. So I guess Melody, you're on the right track as far as, you know, getting the vet checks done. So that would be the best recommendation that I would have for you, is to continue with that. So And at the same time, let's see, I think you're looking for a prospect, so you should have high standards for soundness for a younger horse. And there may be a little more leeway, you know, for one that's been there and done that. But you're on the right track. I would just say, you know, keep getting those vet checks, even if they seem like they're totally fine. So, good morning. Hey, Jenny. Oh yeah, Cindy, I will have to look it up, and then I will post it in the comments after I get in the house. And I'll also find the name of that book too that I was talking about. It's just kind of like interesting perspectives on healing and so forth. So anyway, Pistol felt really good. Things are fixing to get really crazy in a really great way around here, because our arena project is going to be in full force starting next week, which means I might not be able to ride here at home for a couple weeks potentially, and so I'm gonna have to be hauling out, which I kind of was my intention anyway, but we have a lot of ground to cover in a short amount of time as far as making sure he's ready for that first run back. And it's gonna be a little bit crazy because I'm gonna have to haul out to actually get my riding done, so I'm gonna really have to be on my game and focused to really put my full attention on him to stay progressive in these like really critical weeks. So but I do have plans to start hauling him out to a couple barrel races and stuff, and we'll see where, I mean, I assume he's going to be in a good place mentally, emotionally. He's passed everything, all those little tests with flying colors so far. But we'll start doing like a couple exhibitions just to kind of gradually get him back in the game, and so we can be ready. And then I'll keep you posted on this like super exciting arena project. I am so pumped about it. But anyway, that's what I have for you today as far as some just a reminder to stay really connected to your horse and put a high value on what they are communicating to you, and becoming someone who is open to what they're communicating to you. And then also some tips about that approach to the first barrel. Be really conscious of that, and about hanging in there with your position like a step or two beyond what you're already likely doing. And it can just be a total game changer when we help them or teach them to be in that position from the get-go in the approach, the turns can become so fast and easy for them. Jenny, my books are available at barrelracingtips.com under the books link. All 4 of them are there, and there are plenty of bonuses with them too that you can check out as well. So thank you so much for asking. So all right, I'm gonna sign off, and I have big fun plans for tomorrow. I will be posting some of that on my stories, so keep an eye there. And I hope you all have an awesome weekend. I can't wait to hear about it on Monday. So I will check in here with Pistol. You never know where we're gonna be. We might be at the neighbors, at the covered arena. I don't know yet. It's gonna be day by day, so it's gonna be exciting. Anyway, I'll keep you posted, and I will be checking in live with you on Monday. So have an amazing weekend.